Um, First of all, thank you to UBC and also to the Lighthouse team led by Megozeno for this time. It's an opportunity for me to be able to come and share what little I know about information superhighway, so-called information superhighway, as well as we are actually not in the information age now. Actually, we have passed on to the age of so-called age of experience or experience age. So that is what I would like to touch upon today. And much thanks once again to Megozeno and the team. Sorry, guys. And I have a challenge here, like I know the last time the speaker who spoke here spoke extempore without any notes, and whereas I have a whole list of notes here, and which I was preparing for quite some time, and I'll have to refer very frequently to my notes, so please excuse me. And so, though I'm a media person, as Megozeno has introduced me, but still, during recordings, we always use the laptop or something in front of us. So I'm got accustomed to it, so excuse me. Compared, excuse me. Compared to you youngsters and everybody present here, I believe I'm from a different generation. And today, but I would like to speak a little bit about generation also. How many of you have heard about Generation X, Generation Y, Generation Z? Yeah, some of you have heard about it. And according to Wikipedia, a generation is described as the average period, generally considered to be about 25 to 30 years gap, during which children are born and grow up, become adults and begin to have children. So that is a gap of around 25 to 30 years. Whereas now, with the information age, I think the definition of generation, like Generation X, Y, Z, is there. So Generation X is those born in 1965 till 1980, which is 39 to 54 years old. Generation Y, or millennials, are born from 1981 to 1996, which is 23 to 38 years old. And we have Generation Z, which is the youngest, who were born from 1997 to 2012. That is 7 to 22 years old. So in all these, we have a gap of around 15 years each. So by now, all of you may be knowing which generation you belong to. It is actually the millennial generation, the Generation Y and the Generation Z, who have most instinctively using this information highway. And they are very, they know the ins and outs, and you use it natively, I should say. Whereas people like us from the Generation X, we have had to learn by ourselves, and we have had to, we were part of the analog age before the digital age came. Let me figure out my laptop here. So, space for the mouse. Yeah, thank you. However, I believe that we from the Generation X or the older generation do have a perspective, a historical or experiential perspective, if I may, about the internet age, about the information highway, and about the subsequent ages to come. Like I said, in the 1990s, I taught myself how to use computers. And I almost became a nerd in the process, but I learned to use computers, and this has been a skill which has stayed throughout, and I did have a passion and vision for media and how to use information technology and the highway to maximize my work. So I'm not much of a tech person, but my knowledge and skills always need to be updated, as all of us need, because it's always growing, very fast growing. We can't really keep pace with it, but we always update ourselves and upgrade ourselves with our skills. And so actually the new title of my talk should be, actually I had said, we had said, or it was given to me to talk about information superhighway is here. But I should say information superhighway is here, but it has reached us rather late. And the world has moved on to the experience age. We are part of the information highway. It is still there, but it is moving on. And so can we use both of these, information highway as well as the experience age, to learn and to grow exponentially and to apply it in our lives and to apply it in our businesses and in our relationships and in our work? How can we capitalize on the changes which are coming, the opportunities which are coming? In Nagaland, in our comparatively slow-moving world, so to say, with slow development and progress, fast information has already arrived, and it is fast development is also coming in leaps and bounds, in the form of not only information highway, but in the form of even the 4-lane highway, which is supposed to reach Kohima from Dimapur this year, hopefully this year. So there will be many opportunities coming only if the state government also maintains and improves our basic required infrastructure, like power, like roads, like water, and connectivity. So these two things are bringing us new opportunities, online as well as offline. So new jobs, new businesses are coming up, and more outside people will be coming in, bringing new opportunities and new ways of doing things. And also due to e-governance in India and even in our state, it is now easier to apply for and obtain permits, registrations, licenses for businesses online, even online from the central government of India. So here I would like to share a bit of my early story, since every story has its own struggles and setbacks which has shaped us. When I was young, I had very good high school years. I was a good student, and during my pre-university science in Science College Kohima, I hanged around with friends, and I was very fortunate to pass out that in the second year, because all my friends, 7 in the gang, they all were detained, whereas I was able to pass out. So, and next year I spent 1 year doing BSc there in Science College, and I got a seat to do engineering in the petroleum engineering, that is in the Indian School of Mines. So that was in Dhanbad, Bihar. So it had a rigorous 4-year technical course, and also I had to go for training to do practical training in oil fields of Ankleshwar, that is in Gujarat. Here, I didn't have much thought because I got it. The way was open for me, and my parents also encouraged it. That's why I opted to study the course. And it was basically just another course for me. And I also did not do my work consistently there. I was involved in many co-curricular activities, like many of us Nagas happen to be, like in music and we went around bands all over India and performing and all this sort of things. And so I did my assignments and studies very sporadically. I didn't do it consistently. And so actually I lost I lost all the years I spent there. I could not finish the course. So nearly 4 years was wasted, not passing out from the course. So here a lesson which young people can learn also could be that before you choose any course of study or your profession or whatever you would like to do, we really need to think it through and pray about it. Really need to think it yourself about what it is that you are really interested in, what it is that God has placed in your heart, what it is that you have a vision for, what interest, what makes your eyes shine, or what, this sort of thing, what you have a calling for. And your parents may guide you, but ultimately it is you yourself who has to know yourself, identify that desire, and then select the right course for your future life and career. And for some of you, it will be only after graduation that you'll be able to identify the right course of study and or field or work or business. Earlier, everybody had one or two life careers. The whole life they had one career or two careers. But now, as you may be aware, people are having to need to go through one type of work to another, from one company to another, all in a matter of few years. So you have to restart, you have to retrain, and you have to re-employ. So millennials and Generation Z, they are the ones who are facing that most. And especially with artificial intelligence, modern technology, and the COVID pandemic, you are having to change jobs, retrain, or do all these sorts of things. And so recently, 2020 study found out that a typical worker stay in the same role on one job for 5.5 years, and they shift the job. So that means an average person, if he works 32 years, he will have nearly 12 jobs. So that is one thing. By switching jobs, you get a better pay, benefits, change of interest, company culture, etc. are very common. So my time at the engineering course had marked my heart and also impressed on my thick skull how easy it is to lose our focus and to squander away precious time. It also made clear to me the need for hard and regular, consistent work in whatever it is that you are called into your field of work or your study. We all hopefully learn from failure. And in the future, many of you will need to change jobs. You will need to restart. You'll need to retrain and to re-employ. Now I'll go back to the information superhighway. Now, since we know that all of us are connected with our mobile phone towers, and through fiber optic cables, which are fiber optic cables are here like a very small cable, but is inside the cable shield. And so in these cables, you can send nearly 100 TV channels in one cable. It can hold a vast amount of information and can go very fast, in the speed of light, faster. So nowadays it is very common, even here in Kohima, Nagaland. There are a lot of, we are connected by fiber optic cables coming from USA, from all over the world, and passing through the national highway to Kohima, and from Kohima to other districts of Nagaland. So we are connected with fiber optic from Alaska to Zubza, say, from Massachusetts to Mon. And the vast information through internet information highway is traversing faster than the speed of light. And also the IT revolution began actually even before 2000, the year 2000, and is continuing till date. According to the chief economist at Google, he said, and I quote, "Information is anything that is potentially digitizable, potentially digitized." So there are the few examples of digitized information are like text, audio, video, graphics, or multimedia. These are converted into bits and bytes and sent through, digitized and sent through the network of computers through fiber optic cables and reach us from USA to Nagaland in an instant. So it's very amazing actually, but you all take it for granted since you are all using it every day, every second. Now, from the internet, as you know, you can download thousands of songs or films or books or movies, mountains of information and truckloads of data. So you can put these truckloads of data into these small USB drives, like one whole library of information into the USB drives. But unfortunately for the information explosion, you also have information overload and other junk. So you have a lot of information, too much information coming in, whereby we need to really select and sift through and select the right information which will be useful for us. So sometimes we are driven to distraction. So that means you are in good company. Everybody in the world is driven to distraction, but it is up to us how we select the information and use it. So like I said, we can pick any information, free information from anywhere. The world is at our fingertips. But what about our mind controlling the fingertips? Are we just surfing other people's activities, social media, wasting, browsing many hours, and many of us, including myself, are guilty of it. So we need to monitor what we watch and dwell upon. The best is if we can properly identify and select and develop the habit of selecting the best where we can learn. We can learn exponentially on any topic from A to Z, from nanoparticles to trillions of the giant stars and planets just in the galaxies above us. This is awesomely an amazing world which God has created, and we are, human beings are one of the most amazing creations. Um, so now, the young and the not so young have access to the world and its ideas, its developments, its corruption, its lease even, and all this important information in our fingertips with our mobile phones. So it is very much up to us how we are using it. It can be a boon or a blessing. It can be a curse or a blessing. So that is very I should say very important for all of us, especially young people. So the world is moving on in a fast pace, and at the same time, some of us older generation, we seem to be stuck with fixed mindsets and ideas also. And at the same time, the younger generation also with the world at their fingertips, we do not know how to make use of the gold mine in your hands. This is a gold mine actually. And many are just mindlessly and innocently consuming 4 to 7 hours of content, video, and games every day. So how do we navigate this? I want to remind all of us, including myself, that how we use can be a boon or a bane. Many of our people in Naga society, after progressing and advancing fast in the last 50 to 100 years, we are getting stuck also without any change in our old ways of thinking, old tribal mindsets and ideas of life, culture, and society, even belief. So many are even slowing down, getting balked with their daily responsibility because they have so much to do, so much responsibility. They have so much, whether it be tribal responsibility, ho-hos, councils, or even church committees and all these things, we are getting bogged down many times also. But I believe we need to make time to learn, to grow all the time in the midst of all these activities. We need to recharge and reorient, to rebalance our mindset, our thinking, our beliefs. Also, we need to have positive knowledge and a new learning. At the same time, we need a new mindset for ourselves and for our people. We need it for our individual selves, as well as we need to be concerned about our society and how in which direction our society is progressing. So in the midst of all this fast-changing world and all these attractions and distractions which is already here, I believe we need to be rooted in Christ, who is the chief cornerstone. He is the chief foundation. If we want to evolve into our best selves and into our best selves to become a model Naga citizen. Now back to information superhighway. We know that now 4G speed is here, 5G speeds are coming very fast. How can we use it? Average 4G speed is 50 to 100 Mbps, megabytes per second, whereas 5G is nearly 2 or 5 times that, which is average 70 to 150 megabytes per second. So 5G is likely to be faster, even faster than fiber. And 5G has anticipated speeds of 20 GB downloads per second. So files which are considered as large size, like video files or multimedia graphics, are nothing now. We can download them in an instant, or we can download anything, even with 4G and especially with 5G, which is coming. And of course, there are so many thousands of courses on any aspect of life. You can get any courses, thousands of courses, which are free as well as paid courses. Usually the experts or the teacher, the online teacher in whatever field, whatever field of life you may be interested, will offer a free course with lots of useful information in that free course on social media like Facebook or YouTube. And then from that free course, which will have lots of information, he will give another higher level, upper tier, which will be a paid course with more detail, which will be more for professional and more content. So that paid course will have, again, after you, supposing you opt for the paid course with more details, and then you can now opt for the next higher course, which will be even higher in cost, but professional course. So usually the online coach will try to upsell you, to try to advertise you, to try to let you buy that higher course through social media, through video marketing, or through emails and SMSs, WhatsApp, and all this sort of thing, which by now you may be familiar with. You're getting all sorts of advertisements and marketing messages through your mobile phones and through the social media channels. So the same method is also applied for services, meaning businesses, like supposing somebody is a plumber or a carpenter or an electrician or graphic artist or videographer, then this these sort of things where you offer free and the next step is higher, these sort of things are being offered on the net and will be started here, I believe, very, very soon in Nagaland. So the choice is up to you whether you want to take the free course on your desired topic or you want to upgrade and take that advanced course, which is paid. So for example, myself, I took some online courses by some experts and influencers, like maybe some of you have heard about Dan Lok or Peng Jun from Malaysia, Sean Cannell of YouTube, and Siddharth Rajsekar of Chennai, who is into freedom business model that is using computer systems to earn money as well as to do online coaching. So myself, I also did some courses on online coaching, setting up systems and processes, video marketing, digital marketing, and YouTube Academy. And this was very useful for me, and hopefully it will be in the years to come. So again, I want to share something from my story. After failing the engineering course, I had to start all over again in a new place with a new course. So I went to Chennai in South India, and as I was preparing to admit myself in BSc Physics, just during admissions, I met one young man. He was also a new person, new to me, and he was also doing his admissions. And somehow he talked to me and he convinced me that if you do BSc Physics, then you're such and such. Whereas if you do this new course, which was there, communications, then you would be able to do this and this and that. So somehow he convinced me, young person like myself. And so I ended up, after one night of thinking and consulting my parents, next day, I ended up admitting myself in visual communication. And I believe it was God's leading that he put that young man right in the path when I was being admitted and convinced me. So you may also face somebody in your life crossroads who may suddenly touch you or speak to you. You may or you may not, but God's plan is very amazing. So this time, having learned my lesson, I passed out from my degree on time from Loyola College, Chennai, I believe, where Japu is also studying. And so back home, after finishing the course, I worked part-time in, actually when Magozeno read the things you read, as if I was still doing working in All India Radio and Doordarshan, but that was a long time ago. So I worked part-time in All India Radio and Doordarshan, being a correspondent, as well as I was able to somehow start a first audio rentals, I think in Kohima at that time, early 90s. So that was in KD Market Complex. So during this time, my mother, who had been in touch with me all throughout my life, she had been, we had been praying together, like from Joel 2:25, which says, I will restore to you the years that the locusts have eaten, that the years lost to you will be restored to you. So both of us had been praying for that, especially my mother. And so during a Master Life Bible study in the mid-90s, I committed to serve in media ministry. So that was a commitment, and my pastors prayed over me. And after my commitment, avenues for training here and there open up. For example, I had a small training in Bangalore on TV productions and Christian TV. So there I met some people, and from then on, I was able to do further training in Canada, in Ontario, Canada, in a ministry called Crossroads. So after finishing the course again, I was invited by the same ministry to work as a media crew for a short time in with a Canadian crew at the World Expo 2000 in Hanover, Germany. So I worked firstly as an audio person and became a camera person, and finally as a producer during the last day of Germany in the World Expo 2000. So what we did was different crews. We went out and shot all these programs and brought it, edited it the same day, and it was broadcast almost worldwide on the internet. So those were the first days of internet broadcast. So it was very exciting and thrilling for us to be able to do that. And at Germany, with the help of one South American brother, I set up the first ever website of Highland Dawn Media in 2000. So that's almost like ages ago. But those days were early days, and it was very exciting. So after returning home in 2000, I was able to get together with some friends and who were mostly youth leaders, and 3 of them are from this church. So, for example, I got together with Vilodi Sakrie, with Tejameru, with Angugato Suineto, and others like Toshi Langu and Daniel Tong, and we came together and formed Highland Dawn Media, like a media ministry for young people, initially in those days. And so we were excited, and though our target was youth in Nagaland, we had a vision for TV broadcast throughout Northeast India, and we produced some programs for local cable TV. However, the next year in 2001, before I got married, I received a very unexpected invitation from the Christian Broadcast Network, CBN India, to work in Hyderabad. So I was expecting to work as a TV producer, but to my surprise, the CBN director offered me work as head of the TV production department there, which was overseeing broadcasts in 5 to 6 satellite TV channels, as well as in 4 languages, Tamil, Telugu, Hindi, and English. So I was totally shocked, actually. Without much experience, I was put into that sort of a position. But I believe it was a commitment. When you make a commitment, then revelation happens. Things open up also. But firstly, you have to make a commitment. And as well as it was very much the prayers of my mother, who had been praying Joel 2:25 to restore to me the years which the locusts have taken. So after working there for 2 years, I returned home in 2004, and I restarted Highland Dawn Media production and broadcast. So during this time, I think my story is a bit too long, but I'll just continue. During this time, opportunities opened up for a media broadcast, and we launched Channel Youth, which was the first ever Naga TV program broadcast weekly on satellite channels across Northeast India. So there were 2 channels at that time, which was NETV and Northeast Hi-Fi. So we were able to broadcast weekly on these channels. So we featured Naga Christian Witness, as well as music, youth programs, and social issues on our programs. So during this time, we used computers to edit our videos. Non-linear editing was new at that time. And however, our broadcast was analog, means we have to edit it, send the tape to the channel, and they will play it for us from the channel itself, from their office itself. During those days, the internet connection in Nagaland was very slow. We used dial-up modems, which is making all sorts of funny sounds, and starts out and takes nearly 2-3 minutes to start, and all this sort of thing. So it is kind of like a dream of us to be able to have live broadcasts or to be able to have the speeds you have these days. Something back to information highway. According to renowned Canadian author and psychologist Dr. Jordan Peterson, I don't know how many of you have heard of him, Jordan Peterson. The whole reason and purpose for education is simply to learn to read, learn to write effectively, and learn to communicate or to speak. So that means learn to read, to write, and to speak well. I believe this is very important now for our information and experience age today. Due to the information explosion and the knowledge economy, now people are learning like never before. They prepare themselves mentally, they prepare themselves mindset-wise, they prepare themselves to be healthy so that they will learn, so that they will do the work. Otherwise, you can't do the work or you can't learn if you are not healthy. And they are in a hurry. As soon as they learn, they'll implement it. As soon as they learn it today itself, they'll implement it. They'll take action on it. They'll apply it in their work, in their lives. So I believe that's what we need to do. We need to learn to take action, and without postponing it, we need to implement it, apply it. Also, as you are aware, successful people, they read a lot of books, nearly approximately one book per week, it seems. Like Bill Gates, he read 50 books a year. Elon Musk grew up reading 2 books a day, according to his brother. 2 books a day. So reading as many books on the topic, their work, their niche, they also somehow replenish their mindset, their information. They became ready to apply it in their work. So also we need to upskill always. We need to upgrade our mindset, the information we're receiving, and start implementing it immediately. So that's what we do. Even we try to do. Even in Highland Dawn Media, we are learning new techniques about video or video marketing or digital marketing. And as soon as we do that, we try to edit the video in the same day. We try to get things done the same day or the next day when it is fresh. Otherwise, we tend to forget it. Otherwise, we procrastinate. Procrastination is something which all of us are, especially Nagas, I think we are guilty of, which we need to be aware of. So with all this exponential, huge learning which is happening, how could we be part of the revolution of learning? In fact, we are part of it, but we are perhaps not so much aware of it. Are we able to participate meaningfully? We are getting all these thousands of information, thousands and million gigabytes of information, but are we consuming it in the right way? And are we able to give it out? Are we able to use it, apply it meaningfully, and give it out to the wider world? So 100 Mbps speed is here, and we are getting movies, songs, videos, downloads, but are we able to productively use it, able to figure out how to use it? So out of these 100 Mbps and thousands of gigabytes, what is it that we are giving out? What is going out from Kohima, from Nagaland? How many gigabytes, how many Mbps? Are we even returning even 0.05 Mbps? That's what we wonder. And even 0.5% back into the information highway. So another thing, so we at our company, Highland Dawn Media, we also try to upload live video 24/7, meaning we want to give streaming video always. So this consumes a lot of data, a lot of bandwidth. So that is a little we can contribute. We are trying to contribute through information highway. We are trying to give back what we got back, but which is impossible, of course. But the little we can do increase, then that is what we are looking at. So with all this information explosion, can we become experts very fast? Initially, like 10 years ago, it seemed that in order to become an expert, you had to have 10,000 hours of practice on the same thing, or 10 years to become an expert. But now with the information explosion, can we be an expert, become an expert in 6 months? So besides books, reading books, we have podcasts, we have YouTube, you have Teachable, you have academies of all sorts, Udemy, Khan Academy, and other websites with any kind of online course. So instead of reading only, if reading is something which you can do, then very good. But we even have videos which can read back to you, meaning like you get the gist of it. There is a company called MentorBox, which can read the book through video, or which will give you the gist of the book through video. This is for persons who are very busy. They don't have time to read the whole book, and so they go through the gist. And so MentorBox is available if you are also interested. This is, and initially I think they are offering it very cheaply, like $5 to $10 per month, something like that. So if you want to get to know many more books and get to know the gist of the books, then perhaps this is one resource which you can use, MentorBox. So many leaders and successful people, it seems they try to set aside at least 1 hour a day for things like deliberate practice or learning. At least 1 hour per day, at least 5 hours in 1 week, they set aside so that they will learn, they will read, and they will practice it. So this is known as the 5 hour rule. And so here, the people, they read, they reflect upon it, and they experiment upon it. So experiment meaning putting it into practice, what has been learned immediately. I believe we need to look at learning every day as we do exercise, like we do exercise, maintaining a healthy lifestyle. You have to do exercise, you have to take the right kind of food. So also, you have to take the right kind of information. Every day, regularly, you have to set a target, make it a habit to learn. It could be 30 minutes in one day, it could be 1 hour, but it'll, over the course of 5 years, it'll really help you. It'll really help you grow exponentially in knowledge as well as in mindset. So now that we are in the information age, I mentioned that we have crossed over, we are crossing over into the experience age. I wonder if you have heard about, of course, you have studied about it, about the agricultural age, the industrial age, now the information age, and so on. So these agricultural and industrial and information are still very relevant. We need it, of course. But now we are coming to a new phase, which is the experience age, experience age. So during the information age, the idea of communication was to make information accessible. So we are getting information. It is very much accessible to all of us. So now in the information age, the primary focus is creating an experience online, experience through your phones, experience personal digital experience. So society is transforming from wanting information to seeking information, relating to the information. So it says, I will read once again, society is transitioning from wanting information to seeking experiences relating to the information. Sorry, I misquoted. We are seeking experiences. Thanks to mobile screens, connectivity, and the revolution of camera technology, we know that our cameras are becoming more sharper, with more pixels, better all the time. And the memory of it is really increasing. So we are able to record all the information, we are able to share all this information. And so because of this, as well as because of virtual reality and also the Internet of Things, these sort of advancements, Maybe some of you have heard about it, some of you may not have heard about it. So because of this, all this combined together, it seems we are moving into the age of experience. So virtual reality is a computer-generated environment with scenes and objects that appear to be real. You put in a virtual reality device or glass and you can see all sorts of things in a 3D mode, as well as you can see, many of you have already used it, I believe, or even for games or whatever it is. Now, many of you may have heard about the Internet of Things, or IoT, which is things connected, whatever it is in your car or whatever it is in your home, whether it's the fridge, whether it's the washing machine, whether it's the whatever device is there, it's connected to the internet through a chip, small chip, and so it can communicate to you how that device is working. You can monitor it, how the device is to be used. You can even use it remotely from another place. So everything is connected. Everything, the Internet of Things. These are things all of you can find out, by yourself also, by Googling about it, by doing some research, but perhaps, like I said, a Generation X person talking to you guys, it seems odd, but I'm just reminding ourselves, and perhaps you learn a little bit from my sharing. So this age is focusing on experiences and the delivery of these experiences. Real-time sharing of experiences is what connects us together. Experts say we evolve as humans and we are seeking experiences more than just information. And added to this age of experience, now technologies which were very, very side technologies are now becoming mainline technologies. Like due to the blockchain, which is a system of computers exchanging information in blocks, and they make it difficult or impossible to change, to hack, or to cheat the system. That means it's very, it's set up like a puzzle which can never be changed. Cryptography, no. I forgot the word. So because of this blockchain system of computers, like other things like cryptocurrency and Bitcoin is becoming, they were in the sight 5 years ago, but now they are becoming mainstream. Now, this is really becoming the hot topic, Bitcoins and cryptocurrency. So this is another form of money. This is not exactly money, but as I said, because of the bit chain, which is able to make a puzzle which cannot be solved. So supercomputers, they are not able to break this chain. And so because of this, the cryptocurrency, that is, again, I forgot that word, but cryptocurrency is now come into being. So it will very soon become mainstream, I believe, even this year or by next year, because now the public are starting to use it. And so many people are investing on it, Bitcoins and Ethereum and whatever it is. Bitcoin, the price of Bitcoin was only, was peanuts, but now it has gone to nearly 500,000 US dollars, I believe. And it's going to increase very soon also. Besides Bitcoin, there are so many other coins like Ethereum, or so many other small coins are related to Bitcoin. But to be aware of it, so that some of you, if you're interested, you can even think about investing in it. So there's another thing called NFT, Non-Fungible Tokens. This is again something very technical, I should say. But NFT is related to original art and music. So nearly 20 years ago, I think one of the first GIFs, GIFs, The moving video, very pixelated video was created of one cat just moving along. So that day, somebody, the original creator, he made an NFT out of it. NFT, meaning non-fungible tokens, but this is very technical. I myself don't understand what exactly it is, but he made an NFT out of it, and now that simple GIF, it costs thousands of dollars, hundred thousands of dollars. So he was able to make in such a way that he himself is the owner. He himself, the real owner, is identified, and nobody else can. Even though now you can copy digital products, you can copy songs, you can copy art, you can copy graphic design, and make into thousands of copies. But that original one which was made, the creator, he can identify that it is his. So besides the millions of copies made, so that's how he was able to prove that it is his, and he was able to monetize it. And that's how in the very near future, I think our artists, they will be able to make, when they make their original art pieces, they'll be able to take a digital copy out of it, and they'll be able to say that it is theirs, though thousands of copies have been made, and they'll be able to make a lot of money out of it. So artists and musicians and related graphic people, you can look into NFTs, NFT. I'm sorry, because I didn't keep track of the time. Maybe I took by now. Have we crossed 45 minutes? Okay. Thank you for having patience with me and staying all through and listening. I actually wrote a lot of things, but time permitting, so let me just try to go through some of them fast. So like I said, we need to take time to upgrade our skills, to upgrade our knowledge, to acquire new knowledge. And even the central government, our state government, they support this. They are having a lot of schemes and a lot of websites which we need to be aware to do more research. And India has leapfrog. Like a frog is leaping from one place to another. Have you heard the term leapfrog? Meaning like, jumping from one place to over, forgetting what is in between. So people from the village economy, they're able to leapfrog straight into the digital economy. People from that's just an example. Okay, so India has leapfrog from an ancient economy to a modern economy. So I believe we too in Nagaland we could do that, and people are aware. Our government is trying to do that, to go to the latest technology, bypassing the other technologies in between. So another thing, to succeed as a business person, you need to be disruptive. This is from the IT industry. Disruptive, meaning change the older with very new things which could not be imagined, but which are changing, bringing revolution to many businesses and to services. So can we leapfrog from an old tribal analog mindset society to a lean, modern, outward-looking and transparent digital age society? Can we do that? Or do we need to educate ourselves further? Do we need to educate our leaders, perhaps even our parents or elders, so that we could together as a society try to progress? I would like to quote a renowned local person who is a renowned bamboo architect and Naga thinker. Is Richard Bell. He says, the moment is now to make that change, to move beyond the narrow lane of thinking, beyond village and constituencies, and to claim God's bigger purpose in our life. I believe that is very true for all of us and for our society especially. Like I said, if you want to learn whenever any topic, you Google it or you YouTube it. I mean, you type in it a YouTube column, search column, any course, any topic, you find it instantly. You get it. So, for example, if you want to find out about the top 10 businesses after lockdown, you just Google it and it'll come to you. As you know, you make a research about it, or you make a research about the least business ideas that will make you money in 2021, anything at all, or top 10 digital assets in a knowledge business, meaning like top 10 assets, top 10 income generating things which you can use in your business. Like these are, for example, these are like having a blog or a website, or having an email list of email, different people. You could whether it is your friends, whether it is other contacts, whether it is through your calling cards or cards you have received, to make an email list and try to get more people so that you can email to them. Uh, Other digital assets are like having social media followers, creating new content, having a YouTube page, Instagram page, Twitter, social media, or producing digital products like digital book online courses, music, videos, etc. There are so many things actually, but we don't have time. We'll just touch a little upon it. And so we also have internet marketing or advertising, digital marketing, advertising through the internet, through social media, and communicating through the internet, through the superhighway. I believe as we are getting all this information, we need to really concentrate on, we need to really focus on what we pay attention to. Because our attention is very important. What we pay attention to is money for advertisers actually. But I would like to say again that our time, our attention is worth more than money. Our time is worth more than money. There's the saying which says time is money, but our time is worth more than money. So please be very careful about how you use your time, whether it is to build yourself up or to waste without any purpose. Besides these, there are so many other technologies and so many other stuff like artificial intelligence, like quantum computers, which is we don't have time to discuss. And thank you for hearing me out very patiently. And perhaps I just want to end with the saying that perhaps before I end, I just want to talk a little bit about our self-identity. All of us in Nagaland, we say that we are from a particular tribe or village, depending on from our father's side. And these days, it's very common to hear the village, clan, and tribe identity is being stressed as first and foremost, they say, you know. But 15 years ago, I was talking to a cousin of mine, first cousin of mine, who was born and brought up in the US. And he is of mixed parentage like me, mixed tribes. And so I asked him, which side do you think you take after? Or which side you are more close to, your father's side or your mother's side? I was curious to know. So he said, no, he doesn't consider he's not close to any tribe, but he considers himself as a Naga, not from any particular tribe. And again, since we are from a patriarchal society, our formal and official identities tend to come from our father's side. At the same time, myself included, we have an affinity or bond towards our mother's side, towards our grandmother's side, towards our great-grandmother's side, from both sides. So we have an emotional attachment for us, I believe, perhaps even for you also, your grandmother or your great-grandmother, whom you have not seen. For example, my grandmother is originally from the village of Nakama, Benryu, from the Meru clan. Okay, so that's how I also have an affinity. And my great-grandmother is also from the first Naga Christian village of Molong Yemsen. So again, there I have affinity for it. And my great grandmother from my mother's side also is from the Hyome clan of Cheramye Elkel in Kohima village. So, and again, I happened to marry a lady from that same Cheramye Elkel of Lisemye Kohima village. So somehow, we have an affinity for our mother's side. So anyway, as Naga Christians in this information age, what could be our identity be like? I think many people in Nagaland have their identities upside down, I think. You may or you may not agree with me, but they say that they're from that particular tribe, that clan, that Kel, and afterwards only they say they are Nagas. But whether you agree with me or not, I believe, firstly, for me, I would say that I'm a follower of and disciple of Christ, and I'm a Christian Naga, an Indian from the state of Nagaland. I am actually, after I'm a disciple of Christ, I'm a father and a husband. And later I would say that I'm an Indian from the state of Nagaland. And then lastly, I would say that I'm from the particular tribe, that village, that clan. For me, that's how I also take it. But it's up to you. And perhaps I don't know whether our elders would agree with me, but that's my belief for myself. So in this modern connected world, other people, they just see us as Nagas, living as Indians or Christians from the state of Nagaland. They see us like that. So as long as we are faithful Naga Christians, as long as we can picture ourselves as faithful, productive, and contributive Naga Christians and Naga citizens, I believe we can look forward to a bright future. I believe actually I had a very refreshing time of praise and worship, thanks to the worship team. And during there was the new song, you had said, the future is bright, right? And what was the next word? I forgot. But I believe our future can be bright when we are rooted in the chief cornerstone, in the chief, foundation of Christ. And after that, our identities can follow and come. May God bless us all, and thank you so much for your patient listening.